But this week we got a special guest, one of my leaders in the organization, somebody I look up to, and he's the guy like getting stuff done. We can swear a little bit, right, on this, Colton? I don't remember the ground rules. Yeah, he's the guy getting shit done.
13. Ah.
Yeah. Napuna Pereira, supervising coordinator, joining us this week. What's up, Napuna?
Well, thank you for that intro, Andrew. But I learned almost everything I know from you. So,
Let me see how much you learned about whiskey from me. Anyways, I'm having a glass. What's that, Napuna? If you got a drink, hope you could pour yourself one too.
I got my isotonics actually.
Of course, yes. Yours is BB.
Double dip.
All right. You guys making me look bad. But let me tell you about this whiskey though. Like, picked this up on my trip to my last trip to Texas. Oh my gosh. Small batch distillery, Widow Jane, 10-year bourbon. It is phenomenal. Smooth, oaky. Oh my gosh. Got that. It's got a little bit of, a light touch of cinnamon, and it's bourbon, so you can taste the corn in it. But man, let me tell you guys, Colton, this is something you got to try. Widow Jane.
I'm sold. Where do I get it? What's the next step?
Guys, that is what tonight's topic is going to be about. We're calling this one-to-one marketing. That was sales right there.
Yep.
100%. It was a good sell too. I'm all in. I'm like, where's the link? I'm like, look at what do we need to do? There's some good stuff right there. From the master salesman.
For real, this is really good though. Like, if you get a chance, like, pick up a bottle, Colton. If you see one like at a good price, like, you pick up an extra one for me. We can't here.
That's exactly what you said right there. If you came back and you even said, well, for real, because a lot of people have the expectation when they're selling, they can't be, and you really were for real because you picked a great product. Even out of the selections of stuff that you probably liked, you picked this because it was extra special to you, and you really meant this is a really, really great whiskey. That's the benefit of what we have going on here. The product brokerage system is, out of the thousands of products we have, you get to hand select, even out of all the great products that were hand selected by somebody else to be the best representation, you get to pick your favorites.
Yeah. And that's that's the easiest way to sell products too, right? Like,
I kind of touch on what we're going to talk about too, right? Sampling the products. This is what Andrew does a lot, Colton. He invites me over, gives me some whiskey. When I'm losing my feeling, I buy a lot of BV. And then
tells at the highest moment of excitement. I got you. With the least amount of inhibitions as you can.
Yeah.
That's the secret to being national supervisor. I'm only supervising coordinators. The secret to national.
Right?
Good though. Puna, I just opened this today. You got to come over and try some. Persistence right there. but anyways, what's funny? The other day, I was back in Malaysia. I was telling my brother about Thimonol, because he's wearing a lot of caps right now, and just having a lot of different responsibilities from different angles coming in. So I was telling him about my experience, about how, I feel like sometimes it can get overwhelming, with the move. We just moved and everything, and with the corporate position, and also with building my own franchise as well. So I told him that, hey, I've been taking this product called Thimonol. It's got what's that? It's got black cumin seed extract, and it's got pycnogenol in it. But one thing I've really found after taking it for 2 weeks was I found that I wake up with more mental clarity. I can't explain it. I'd love for you to try the product. And he was sold. That was great. Like, so I got him on some Thimonol, but his friend was there, and I don't know if this gets you, but his friend was there, and he said something. I don't know if it was condescending or not, or sarcastic, but he said, wow, look at that salesmanship. No wonder you're doing well in that thing of yours.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Wow.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know how to take it. I don't know how to. I was a little offended. I laughed it off though, but I don't know.
It's
What do you
kind of
guys?
a backhanded compliment, you know?
So,
Um,
it,
I've
but,
gotten that before.
yeah,
Yeah.
got a comment.
Oh yeah.
You know,
You know,
it,
after I used to get I had the same feeling too. And then
mhm,
Dennis Franks came to Toronto. I did a local seminar, and he said one thing that really stuck with me. He
yeah.
said I am very proud to call myself a salesperson.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Said that, so I kept rewinding in my head, like how come my identity didn't match to that, and it was
Right.
kind of a preconceived notion of door-to-door sales,
Right.
soliciting, and that was the mindset that I wanted to get out of. But there was nothing wrong with sales, like Grant Cardone even says, right?
Yeah.
Sales is
Yeah.
communication.
Hmm.
So
Well, and even like door-to-door sales, like learning, like that was a huge thing I had to overcome. I think everybody has to kind of come to grips with the fact
hmm,
that the world pushes the idea and the world sells the idea that
hmm
sales is bad. And
right,
so
Hmm.
in order to become a good salesperson, you have to enjoy the fact of selling. You have to learn how to like not listen to what
right,
the world's telling you that sales is bad. Sales is bad. You have to realize that sales is what creates economy, and
hmm,
economy is what makes our lives revolve and move.
that's
And
right,
and you know when it's funny because when Andrew just a second ago he used feel felt found without even meaning to, which
mm.
Oh.
we'll talk about that I'm
Oh
sure
yeah,
through this. He's like, like I know you felt the same way. What I found was this really helped me in this endeavor, and it
Holy
becomes
crap.
well, yeah, you did. It became a very
yeah,
natural part of
yeah,
your language. You can't even help it because that's what you do, and then you even apply
yeah,
it to your marriage. Like Mikhail and I are both Jedi's on each other. She'll be like, no,
right,
no, no, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. What I found was doesn't
yeah,
work out well in marriage, but
yeah.
but the principles apply universally.
Right. But one key difference I do want to point out, though, I'm sure everybody knows this, but that the difference between like door-to-door sales and what we've got is that
Mm,
we're more of a one-to-one marketing,
right,
uh, right? So my understanding of one-to-one marketing is that companies would love to use this, like if they have data on people, they would love to use directed marketing to market the right products to the right people. Just like how I knew my brother needed that product, and I didn't try to talk to him about I didn't try to talk to him about lipstick,
right.
or
Right.
because he doesn't wear lipstick. But yeah, that's one-to-one marketing. We're able to
Absolutely.
customize the approach to each of our customers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the value of us in the field, guys.
Mm.
That's where I think our number one value is in terms of product sales. We know our customers.
Yep,
We know the right to pitch them. That's
100%.
it.
I've even actually used it today at an evaluation approach at an appointment.
Hmm.
It was with this guy I met at a coffee shop who just became a professor at the university I went to school at. Um,
Okay.
so I go to see him. He went to Korea after he did his PhD. So he got married in Korea, came back to Canada with his wife, Korean
Mm-hmm.
wife. So his
Mm-hmm.
wife is just into the country, and I went to see him just to build a little bit of relationship.
Yeah.
Because when I called him to ask for evaluation, he kind of got pushed away a little bit because he did want to get fired from his new job for giving me
Okay.
referrals. So I'm like, okay, let me just come see you there a little bit, build that relationship because I don't know you at all.
Hmm.
So I went and I used that line. I said, I do one-to-one marketing. That's why I wanted to sit down with you, get to know you a little bit. So kind of give you an idea of
Good.
who I am.
That's
Um,
good.
so
Yeah.
give me the right kind of people. And then he starts scratching his head and he goes, huh, that makes sense why you didn't put any Facebook ads or like ads on Craigslist
Yeah.
or something like that. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, that's right. So you work in the evaluation approach as well, one-to-one
Right.
marketing.
That's awesome. I love that. That's so good. Because it's a
Dude.
question people have. They're like, they want to know, okay, like how, because we say internet marketing,
Hmm.
but we're not really internet marketers. I mean, we
Right.
have the shop.com website, we do affiliate marketing, we do these pieces, but like I have friends that do ClickFunnels that are
Right.
Hmm.
very successful making ClickFunnels. They have the Russell Brunson system. I know people that are in the 7-figure club or the 2 comma club, very successful in that world. I do nothing like what they do. There's almost zero connect between our world and their world, other than the fact we're both entrepreneurs.
Right.
But the way that we operate, I can have more sales with inside my distribution network because it's all based on referral threads of managing 10 to 15, 20 customers that we can specifically hand select a product and sell it to somebody who specifically needs that product versus these guys are marketing flashlights to everybody. They're mass marketing. It's a more evolved version of door-to-door sales. But it's still, because instead of going to someone's door, you're on their computer now, but it's still shoving one product down everybody's throat. They're taking flashlights and shoving it down every person's throat. I'm mass customizing via a network of people that are all linked together financially, that we're all linking arm in arm, one-to-one marketing to a handful of people, products they actually want, products they would actually look for, products that they need anyway. I just go out and find the best products and I bring them to them.
Wow. I love it. Boom, mic drop. I love how you had a plug for the products. This week we're talking about Trim Tea. Yeah, and we're going to do a product plug later on. But just want to do a quick mention to our viewers here tonight. Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure. We'd hang out anyways, whether anybody's watching or not. But it's nice to know that people that still have interest in what we have to say. And so tonight I'm gonna open it up a little bit differently. I'm gonna try to. I don't know if this is my first time doing this, but if any of you have any comments or would like to, chime in and tell us some of your favorite ways of retailing, or favorite techniques of sales, of increasing sales, there's a raise your hand option here. So on the control panel, if you can find it and you can raise your hand, I'll keep an eye out and we'll unmute you and have you have you give us some input. All right. So, and also Olivia, some of you are wondering what happened to Olivia. She turned into a Sri Lankan man, like a Sri Lankan man. No, Olivia is at a UVP. She's gonna be joining us right after, but you never know about that New York traffic. You never know whether she'll get home.
Man, this is the best. I just got married, changed genders, and jumped 3 pin levels in one night. It seems like.
Well, it is 2019. You can be anybody you want to be. So.
All right.
I love it. All right. Okay, guys. So with our products, right, we have, what do you think is the best way to educate your consumers, educate your customers on our product? I find that education is the best way to get people on the product, not just short term, but long term. But what sort of approaches do you guys use, or is there, let's take Trim Tea, for example. What's a great way to educate your customers on Trim Tea and how it works?
What you got, Nakuna?
For mine, I find best way I do my education is through in two sets. Before they purchase the product and after they purchase it. Before purchasing it, I find is a lot of customers like to purchase because you've used it or people that have used it and experienced it. And the information only go a small way when it comes to that. They want more of the experiential part of it. And then after follow-up is the fact that I personally show that I care, and I keep calling and see if they're taking it properly, if they're getting the results, that they keep following up. So from that point of view, my education has always been, I come into the appointment kind of like a guy who had a science background. I give my 2 cents in like 1 or 2 things that honestly, I didn't learn this in school. I learned it on shop.com. I just regurgitated onto the appointment. But those 1 or 2 things in terms of a product goes a long way. Like when it comes to Trim Tea, well trim, patented ingredient. Just saying, it's not just African mango seed extract, it's a patented ingredient called well trim that helps you increase your metabolism. It even gives you lean muscle mass. I just say that. That's it. That's my information, and I leave it at that, because I find the consumer's brain can add to that and make it their own. So
Yeah, they
once
tell
it's there,
the story. That's
yeah,
smart.
once it's their decision, now it's like, oh, I came up with this conclusion. He's not
Gotcha.
trying to tell me it. So they're thinking in their head, I want to get more lean muscle and lose weight. I
Yeah.
just planted the seed. And then I just go with my next question. What I always say, what's your budget?
Right.
I've learned that through my girlfriend actually.
Uh-huh.
She's fantastic at it. I'm a little bit softer when it comes to closing for retail. She is hardcore. She goes right
Okay.
into the jugular. I don't know. I was like, holy.
Yeah,
So
I can see that. Yeah. Rachel, she
yeah,
knows. Yeah, she knows when to strike. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
and you were talking about well trim. I just
mm,
don't know if everybody knew about this little material we have on well trim. It's produced by Dr. Nancy Illy Miller.
mm,
Wonderful document. Just go to help and training on your unfranchise.com under support materials. Just search for well trim or trim
yeah.
tea or whatever. And let me see. Did I spell that wrong? No, not Malaysia.
Awesome.
I think
Thank you.
space, right? Yeah, there.
There you go.
Yeah, is that right?
Hmm.
Okay, where is it? Yeah, right here. TLS trimmed down
Mm,
with well trimmed article. When you download that, it'll give you an article like this, and everything that Nipuna just said is right here. Supports
Yep.
leptin sensitivity, helps manage hunger and stimulate lipolysis, which is fat burning. And so it's got all of this stuff, great information, and
That's the one.
what do you guys give this out like when you do sampling when you do trial size
Yep.
with
mm-hmm.
trim
Oh, yeah.
this
Yep.
is a great document to give out. It shows the 10-week double-blind study. I think
Mm-hmm.
this is the part where they lose what 28 pounds on average,
Yep.
6.3% body fat. And the control group only lost 1.5. So, uh, yeah,
And a double blind placebo. I mean, that's legit, man. That's
Yep.
a good.
yeah,
I mean, so stories sell. I mean, they put it just nailed it there. Stories are what sell it. I think you do have to know something about the product though. You
Mhm.
can't come into something like all story based. You have to have some version of, I call them water ski. Like you kind of water ski over the concepts. You don't have
Right.
to dive into all the different things. And at the beginning, I was so intimidated by my lack of knowledge of like
Right.
pretty much everything. I felt very underqualified in most areas, especially living in California. California is very well educated on ingredients and what's in products. They want to know every single little thing, and I'm like, I
Mm-mm.
had no grid, so I felt so intimidated. I didn't even want to start the conversations. Um,
Right.
but you do have to know
Well,
something about the product. You have to have a water
right.
ski. What's that,
I
man?
see. Could you sell like when you were in California?
Oh
Could
yeah,
you
yeah.
move
I
out?
have a great customer base in California, but it was so intimidating. I would just
Mm,
blah blah blah. But I learned, okay, what are the vital 2 or 3 things about each product? Like you guys just said, the well trim IG. How do you talk about that? What how does it kind of break down when you're talking about thiamine? You mentioned this is black cumin seed extract. It's full spectrum.
Mm.
So kind of knowing some key terms. But then
Yep.
if you ask further, you don't have to feel like you're a straw house without information. Say, that's a great question. I don't know. All I know is you can come back to the stories. That's a phrase that I
mm,
learned along the way
Mm.
was I don't know. All I
right.
know is you have to know kind of the initial 1-2 punch, the jab hook.
Yep.
What's
Right.
the sell on this product? What does it do? What are the benefits? What's an ingredient? What's something with it? And then having the stories though, so when people ask like, well, what's the thing? Be like, I can get you that information. They have plenty. If you guys don't know, all of our products are well researched.
Yeah.
Not like a
Yeah.
little research, like massively,
Bunch. Yeah.
like pages and pages and pages. I always love when somebody asks me questions I don't know. I get a little giddy inside. I giggle
Yeah.
a little bit too much. They think it's weird. But I'm so excited because I'm going to send them pages and pages and pages and pages of sources of
Yeah.
the science behind it. But I always come back with this phrase, I don't know. All I know is it's really helping a lot of people. I don't know. All I know is my friend lost 6 pounds. All I know is coming back
Great.
with
Yeah.
this.
You can
Yeah.
get them to look into it themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
That's definitely key, especially like with I think with ingestible products like
Mhm.
with health and nutrition products. you might want to take an approach that is more of like we call that the Chihuahua approach. Sales dogs. The Chihuahua. The Chihuahua is the dog that does all the research. He's the guy that's high on caffeine all the time. Might not be the best conversationalist, but heck, if I'm buying technical stuff, I'm buying stuff where I need to know what's in it. I'm buying it from a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
Because he knows his stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that might, but with what I found that with let's say beauty products, and with beauty products, we have partners in our organization that move tons of it because they're not because they know a lot about the products. Yes, we've got people that know about it and move a good amount as well, but we're seeing a lot of people that that just they use a more of a poodle approach with beauty products, which is you beauty yourself up and people buy it because they want to be like you. It's interesting, like to I don't know if you guys ever thought about this, to identify the product line and figure out, hey, if I was a customer, what sort of approach I would like, what sort of salesperson I would like to get information from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That kind of goes along the idea of branding, right?
Yeah.
What you represent yourself as. So I've been the joint pain guy for the longest time, because that's what I got results with after playing rugby and all the injuries. So every time a customer comes in with issues, it's been prime joint.
Yeah.
So what you brand yourself with has been the start of every retail for myself.
Yeah.
I found because of that, it's easier to get auto ships as well with customers.
Right. Dude, that's great because we got Prime Join on IBV in Canada.
Right, yeah, yeah. Those are 50 BV auto ships, IBV auto ships.
Yeah. Dude, that's awesome.
I think another thing that's important to kind of point out, and exactly what you just said there, Nipuna, is we have all these different products. We have tons and tons of different products, but you don't have to know all of them. You have to fall in love with a handful of them.
Yeah.
You have to be a few you really love, like that you could talk about, that it feels like every conversation comes back to that product. Like everyone brings up joint pain for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it makes it easy to talk about. So in that process, how did you kind of share your passion with that? How did, like, obviously it comes up, then how did you learn to share that passion and then turn it into a sale?
I realized that conversation-wise, it went in two ways. One is when you're not even trying to make a sale, you're just excited that you don't have joint pain anymore and people start questioning it. And the other is when you're kind of strategic with it. It's like, yeah, I know I've used it. I don't know what it's really called. I think it's prime joint or something, and you kind of take that nonsense approach.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, yeah. I swear, about 2 weeks ago, I was at the gym, and there's this guy from Caribbean that comes and works out at Toronto in Canada over here. He has a business in St. Lucia, which is in one of the Caribbean islands. He's a promoter. He has people coming in, musicians and stuff like that. So he was at the gym. He's always a social guy, so I say hi to him and all this stuff. And he had some family pass away. This was about a month ago, 2 months ago. So now he's trying to connect with people more. I say, hey man, let's go for a coffee, because we always say hi, we never caught up. So we go, and he's like, yeah, tell me about your business a little bit more. So I already asked him for referrals like a year ago, but he's been traveling. So I was like, this is my chance. I'm going to get him for referrals. Yes. So I sit down with him. I'm ready. I got my teams going in my head. I'm going to warm him up. He's going to be so curious to a point. He's going to be like, he's going to want to know. I'm going to book that follow-up. I'm not going to let him anything. I'm ready to go. And I get too excited. I go a little bit far. And he's like, so what kind of product? I'm like, oh, yeah, this prime joint thing helped me a lot. And he leans over and he goes, you telling me you had, he was shit, you have shit for joint pain and you didn't tell me all this time?
Yeah.
This guy sends me the money an hour later. It's like, send me to my house.
Wow.
Wow. That's awesome. I love it. That's so good.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to share a story about Nipuna, and how he was really different. He really stood out, like when he first started the business.
Yeah, because I sucked.
No, so bad. Quite the contrary. Okay, get this. Puna's 1 week in the business, and he books an appointment with me to go over something because he's got a web center client, right? And he comes over to my place, and he's got like, I'm like, who the hell told him about web centers? Like nobody, nobody mentioned anything about web centers. He went home, he did his own research. Here's how you know when you got somebody that's taking it seriously. He showed up at my house with laminated, binded, a professional presentation that he wanted to go through to see if he printed it off of like the support materials, and he wanted to see if that was the right material to go through with a web center client. You remember that, Puna?
I remember that.
I was like, holy shit! Like this is the first time this is happening. Somebody doing stuff without you showing them where it is, and man, like no wonder you're ahead, and no wonder you're growing, and no wonder you're doing well, Puna.
Thanks, man. It's mainly the association. If it wasn't for Andrew back in the day, like I wouldn't have that proper mindset or the stepping stone to keep building myself. And then when I was building
one week in, he hadn't done full brain surgery yet, so there was already seeds of greatness planted inside of there. Before Andrew just watered and gave him sunshine and watered and gave him sunshine, but you already had the seeds in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Colton. Thank you.
Well, so Nipuno, how did you first kind of see some of this stuff, like about the business, and that's a really interesting story about starting out with web centers.
How did you hear about the business?
Yeah, how did you hear about the business? What's your story there?
Oh, it's very simple. It's a random guy I met at a garage, Colton. You know Ronnie?
Yeah.
Ronnie Chee, the tall Chinese. Yeah, I met him at a garage. He walked in as I was sitting in the lobby kind of area, and he had the same car as me, and we used to be car buffs. It happened that we had the exact same car, different colors. So before he left, we exchanged numbers because I thought, hey, this guy's an engineer. If my car breaks, I'll call him.
There you go.
Mechanic. So this was in February. By August, he went to Greensboro, North Carolina. And then September, he messages me. He forgot. I think he forgot my name. He texted me, "Hey, broski."
Oh.
Like,
Bro.
And he said, "I'm working on a business. Let's take some pictures of our cars, and I want you to take a look at this business." We met up at the dealership. Took one picture of our cars. He treated me to dinner, and at midnight, he showed me the business plan.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a full-on date. It was like 5 hours.
It was a bro date. It was a bro date with the broski.
Yeah, exactly.
Dinner in the plane.
Yeah, and I think, Ronnie didn't intend to, but it's one of those things that you can never say the wrong thing to the right person type of thing. Where I didn't understand much about the business plan. I didn't actually think it was for me, but he did something great. He asked me to follow up, which was at Andrew's house. It was a HBP, but he didn't tell me it was HBP. He said, "Hey, I have some stuff for your car. Just come over and meet my friend Andrew and have a good time." I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Why not?
And I came an hour late. So I think the HBP had finished when I came because they were eating pizza and playing Little Big Planet on PS3.
Wow.
Then I met Andrew for the first time, and we just talked over a kitchen table, and then back then Andrew was living in a condo, and as I came down the elevator, Ronnie's like, "So what do you think?" That question was like, "Are you ready to get started?"
Yeah. What's your budget?
What's your budget? This was on a Tuesday. And I said money was an objection because I was just graduated, broke. And I said I'll let you know by Friday or by the week. And then that Friday I called him. I think he was waiting around the corner because as soon as I called him, he was out at my house.
Well, it was Friday. Remember Fridays? That's an important day.
That's an important day, yeah.
He was ready for the application and everything, ready to go.
And then I just
not to rush you, but it's almost Eastern Standard Time, midnight. We gotta get this in.
Yeah, that was like cutting it close, man. Cutting it close.
Wow, how cool is that? Okay, so you
Yeah.
saw it then on a Wednesday, you said, and then you followed up onto a Saturday. That's you.
That was quick. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's quick.
This
That was
brings
very
us to the next topic. We should talk about follow up, guys. Like
yes.
That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That's my
Um,
favorite topic right there. I could
I
talk
think,
about one-on-one marketing. I got my customers. I love my customers. I treat them
yeah,
great. I send them thank you cards. I love my
yeah,
customers.
Big one.
Booking
That's a big one.
follow-up,
Yeah.
that's my
right,
favorite thing.
Oh,
right.
on that note, actually, quickly, I just want to mention for anybody that's listening, the support material is gold. I
Mhm.
had a customer who buys 3 calcium like clockwork every quarter from me, but for the life of her, she doesn't want to go on auto ship. She just want to buy it. I'm like, okay, sure. But it was coming in the quarter and she hasn't purchased, I realized. So I went to back support material, printed out the isotonics calcium, the info, and I made it into a poster and I sent it to her via mail because I have an address in the back office. Uh,
Nice.
a week later, I see 3 calcium um, being purchased, shipped.
Wow.
So for anybody that's watching, use those
Right.
good material.
Don't cheap out on your tools, man. Tools
Yeah.
are so invaluable. I mean, we
Mhm.
use tools like crazy. I send out a lot of stuff, a lot of product catalogs. I'm like, man, you never know what they're gonna see. They're gonna be like, wow, I didn't know you had all these things, and they're gonna fall in love with the handful of stuff. I mean, this it's $10, but if you have a great customer that's ordering consistently and you give them out a product catalog, that'll way overpay for itself. And
Mhm.
the thank you cards. Like it's so
Thank
easy in
you.
today's world. Like I was talking about ClickFunnels earlier. It's so easy in today's world to create separation between you and everyone else with just a handwritten letter. I got like
Mm.
some paper in here. I'll write a letter to somebody, be like, man, thank you so much for being a consistent customer. Perfect. Yeah, right
Thank you.
there. Unbelievable. It doesn't have to be great. Like I'm so embarrassed of my handwriting. It's unbelievable. I have terrible handwriting. I do have like a calligraphy set that I use every now and then. That I've kind of got that down. Like it's an art piece to me more than it is handwriting. But my day-to-day handwriting looks like somebody put a pen in their elbow and tried to, make it happen. Looks like a kindergartner wrote it, not a business guy for sure. I say I was meant to be a doctor.
That's the handwriting I got in my thank you card. Yeah, Colton, I got the elbow one.
Folks like, thank you for coming out, Andrew.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nail it, send it. We're good.
It's how people know it's really you. I think at this day
Right.
and age, man, whether it's follow up for the products or follow up for the business, most important thing is just be real, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
you can't hide behind like hidden agendas and all that. People can smell it, and then that's when they ghost you. Y'all know about ghosting?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys been ghosted before? Can you,
Ghosting, yeah.
Yeah.
that's when yes. So that's when you're texting somebody or you're in conversation with someone and they don't reply ever. Boom, disappear. But yeah, what? So I wanted to take a moment to dive into that and see what your thoughts are on why ghosting happens and how we can avoid it. All right, thoughts.
Well, Andrew, I'd actually like to hear from you on that. That's a good question, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think you're very well researched and super into that tech space too. So I got my theories and stuff. I'm sure Nipuna does too.
Right. Okay, so what I'm about to say has nothing to do with research. This is from personal experience. I've ghosted.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. I've ghosted people before.
Yeah.
Where it's not intentional, and it's not that I don't like them, but it's they keep calling me at the wrong time, like whether to invest in something, or whether to come hear about something or take a look at this project. And it's not that I'm not open to it. It's just that sometimes timing isn't right, and I don't really want to completely shut down the opportunity. It could be a potential investment opportunity. I don't really want to completely shut it down, but and I like them, so I don't really want to tell them no. And I know they're from the way they're talking, it's like they're trying to hit a quota. So the easiest option is to ghost, and I don't do it intentionally, but it happens. So I don't know. Now we flip the books, like turn the tables. Do we do that to people sometimes? I think I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm too adamant on getting people out to see the plan. I'm too adamant on, like getting the signs of, they like the plan. Maybe they seen the plan before, but then during the follow-up process, timing isn't right.
Yeah.
And because they don't want to shut it down, they don't want to turn us away. They want to keep the opportunity open. They decide to ghost us. So yeah, it's not because they hate us.
Or yeah, that's interesting. So like psychologically, because like if I was at church or something and I ran into my buddy, I said hi, and we had this, a little bit of a conversation, and then all of a sudden he stopped responding to me, and
Yeah.
I'd be like I'd be upset. I'd be like, man, But what do you think happens with the technology that people feel the disconnect of? I'm ignoring this person, I'm not responding to them, but
Right.
it's not because of the technology there. It's not actually a person. Do you think is that what's going on there? Like they don't feel like it's a person because it's technology, or there's a disconnect there.
Right. There might be. I think the role that technology plays is caller ID messes everybody up. Like, you can see, because you can see who's calling. You can make a decision whether now's the right time to answer the call. And in your mind, you already kind of know if he's called me the past 3 times to talk about his business thing. And that I've already seen the plan. I kind of like it, but now's not the right time. I don't want to tell him no. If his name shows up, I'm probably gonna ignore it. But if he calls me, if the past couple of times he called me was for fun, and one of it was for business, the other one was for some whiskey, the other one was for badminton, the other one was for just a mix of different things, and then it's business again, and it could be going for drinks or whatever, and if we mix it up, then maybe, just maybe, the ghosting would be prevented. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I find that yes, that I've tried that before with different prospects. I
Yeah.
find they are in your life, but it's hard to get a result out of that person because it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I always found, huh?
You can't stay stuck on that one beam.
Yeah. So and it's a lot of time spent on that one bean, and it might not even lead to a nut.
Right.
So I've in my experience, you guys can add. It's always been three things for people ghosting: relationship, value, and timing. For that person. If sometimes I find if the relationship is not there, then they tend to ghost. It's like I'm not really related to this person that much. They don't take up that much of my thinking, spatial mindset. So I'm okay if I just get back to my busy life and just ignore that person. Sometimes it's the timing. I have people who were in direct sales industry who's just been ignoring my calls. And a week ago, I messaged few that haven't been that have ghosted for a while, and now the timing is right. Their previous opportunity didn't work out, looking for something else, and they're now answering more phone calls and text messages. So timing has for that person. And the other one I found was value, man. Like value is the most important I found. Maybe you guys have some experience around that as well. Values to in terms of the 2 to 3 plan, a product, or whatever that I have that can fit into their life. Some people just chase it when the value is there. And when it comes to I don't know if you guys realize that we don't register ghosting as much when there's momentum.
Yeah.
So
a running dog does not notice fleas for sure.
I like that. Yeah.
The problems go away when you're running faster. Like when a leader comes to me with too many problems, they're like, da 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 da. I'm like, you're just not running fast enough. Just run a little faster. You won't notice little small things as much.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens to the best of us too, right? Like it does affect us, but this is why we gotta keep doing these hangouts where we'll push one another to get out of the get out of that rut. But
Elizabeth Weber, I was with her this weekend. She had the district, and she was talking about this thing. I'm like,
what's the district?
Elizabeth Weber.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine? Like, she is like the ultimate to follow up. She creates
Yeah.
this like vortex of energy and excitement around her.
Yeah.
And yet, she's like, I've gotten more no's than you have. I've been ghosted more than you have. I guarantee more
Yeah.
people have stopped responding. Like, I guarantee it. And I'm like, that's such a crazy idea. Like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Some of it, they
How,
don't know who she is, but
she
could
must
you
be
imagine?
numb right now. She must be
Yeah.
like those senses must be numb, right? Like how's she exercising?
Something I've noticed about Elizabeth, and it's a really interesting tension as a leader. Like,
Yeah.
this is a little off track, but I've processed who she is and how she operates a little bit, because she's a really exceptional person. And one skill, it's a skill that she's developed, but it's kind of a heart posture more than anything else.
Yeah.
She's got this skin that's like iron. Like, whenever something, like, you can't hurt her from the outside. Like, like, it's almost impenetrable. Like the nose deflect right off, and it's really true. Like, it doesn't affect her. But I've seen people that have that. They just don't care, what people think. But their heart is hard as well. Their inner,
Right.
this is hard as well, and they're kind of jaded or they're mean. And if you poke around, there's nothing in there. Elizabeth, her heart like melts. Like, her heart is like butter, but her skin is like iron, and she has this really crazy combination. Because as a leader, I need to be emotionally connected. Because the easiest way to get skin of iron is to emotionally disconnect and, like, screw the world. Not screw the world, but, like, I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like to become, like, you can become insensitive to everything. But I'm connected then from my heart when I'm talking to, like, somebody on my team that wants to move forward, and they're like, this is my goal. As a leader, I have to be able to connect with someone's goals and their dreams and what they're wanting, emotionally invest in that, which is a vulnerable spot to be in, because it leaves you open to disappointment, but keep my skin hard from rejection. It's got that really good tension. She balances it really well, where you talk to her even for a little bit and you're like, wow, I feel so known by her, and it's not fake, it's very genuine. Like, her heart is butter, but her skin is iron. It's a really
Dude, that is such an interesting observation, man. Now that I think about it, that's who she is.
Yeah.
Because you can't be all butter and you can't be all iron, but the heart has to be butter and the skin has to be iron.
It's the perfect combination.
It's deadly. And that there's spectrums on that. There's not like, oh, now I'm perfectly ironed. Like, dude, I get pissed off every now. I got a guy that kind of ghosted me, and I'm still like, we're talking about ghosting. I don't want to talk about it too much. I'm like, what do you think, Andrew? What do you think, Napuna? I don't want to talk about it because I'm about to flip this table over here.
Don't take it to heart then. Like, maybe it's just time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's I'm sure you do a great job selling the value. And maybe it's just the relationship or the timing. But I got a quick question submitted from an anonymous person who went to bit.ly/ask TalkShop. And this I thought was perfect for to slip in right here. The question is, how do you follow up with someone who's gone cold after seeing the business, but you still see them on a regular basis? How do you follow up? Who wants to take this one? This is a good question.
I got this one. Yeah, I think it's important. No matter what's happening, this could be a teammate. The teammate dropped the ball on something, and now there's this tension. It's really important in your world. One thing my dad said is like a metric of how well you're doing in life is that you can walk into any room and not be scared that somebody's going to be in it. So, like, when you're at church, don't be like, oh, I really hope Johnny's not here today, or you see his car parked out front, you just want to turn back home. Like, never have an environment or never have an atmosphere around you that you're afraid somebody could be in a room, which means that you handle conflict well. You can't go through life and live it without turning into a hermit, without having that friction of having somebody you don't want to see in that moment. But the key is to address them as fast as possible. If there's poison, you got to get it out as fast as possible and address it. Don't smile through it. Even in the middle of an appointment, sometimes I'll have somebody that I feel like went from interested to courteous, and now they're kind of like, leaning back or something. I address it. I don't keep going through the rest of the appointment. Yeah, exactly. Like Andrew, I don't keep going through the rest of the appointment just trying to pitch my thing. I stop. Hey, I'm not here just to get a cup of coffee. Like, I want to share this with you, but I feel like you kind of disconnected.
Yeah.
Is what I'm feeling true? Is that real, or am I just being crazy here? And they're like, no, yeah, you're right. I just don't think this is a good fit for me at this time. Then you can answer the objection there versus continuing your thing and then leaving that appointment. Or sometimes, and probably most of the time, they had zero issue. They were totally fine, you know, and they're like, no, it's not you. I kind of got off my thoughts over here. I was thinking about this thing at work, and yeah, no, okay, you're right. You got my attention though. I'm sorry. I'm here for this. And you kind of fall back into the moment. But whatever it is, addressing conflict as fast as you can. The longer conflict stays there, the bigger the poison spreads.
Yes.
So as fast as you can. If you're angry or you got something going on, or the person stopped, you know, responding, be like, hey, I just want to make sure, you know, I didn't offend you or something like that. Like we're kind of talking about this business thing, and now I feel like I got a little ghosted there. Like I address it. I'm like, I feel like I kind of got ghosted. I just want to make sure we're good. You know, relationships my highest value here. If it's not a good fit for you, it's totally fine. Just let me know. But you know, I do address it. But the faster you can address something, the less it spreads. Especially when they're in your proximity and you see them on a regular basis, because you don't want to walk into a room. You don't want to have an atmosphere of you don't want to walk into a room because somebody else is there.
Right.
Oh man, that was so much gold there, Colton.
Wisdom.
That's one of the one, at least for me, that was one of the hardest lessons to learn, because I've always been conflict avoidance. So I learned that the most from you and your dad, actually. So
really?
Yeah. So even on a day-to-day basis, I still think, okay, what would David and Colton do on this situation? I'm like, collapse a triangle, you know?
It's such a good. When I started this, I hated conflict. Like my parents didn't raise me up as this like, oh, I totally love conflict. Like that was not, you know, that was not the way it was. But when I started, I recognized like things get out of hand really quickly if you let them fester and grow and fester and grow. And mom and dad are like, it's because you suck at creating conflict. Like they actually create conflict to pull out the poison. Like if somebody's like, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. They'll create that tension. So that like they're so wizards at it, but I've realized if you don't nip it in the bud, if you don't have that conflict, and the other thing is, Dad always says conflict can lead to deeper connection, and so he actually sees conflict as an opportunity to grow in your relationship with that person.
That's right.
So even if somebody ghosts you, that can lead to better connection.
Oh, 100%, yes.
All right, quick shout out. Sorry, Puna. Quick shout out. We have Mary Wu, who's raised her hand. I know she's killing it in the area. Puna, you know Mary, right?
Yeah.
And also, you know Mary. And also Sonia.
Everybody knows Mary.
Everybody knows Mary. Sonia Atmani, who raised her hand as well. The problem is, I'm sorry, guys, I can't seem to unmute them. Mary, Sonia, I'm sorry, I can't seem to unmute you at the moment, but what do you guys say? We'll give Mary and Sonia a couple minutes on our next episode so that we can hear their input, because I really want to hear from them. All right, cool. We'll set Sonia and Mary, if you guys could send me your email addresses, I will set you up as a panelist on the next one. Looking forward to hear from you.
What's your email?
But anyways, sorry I cut you off there. But anyways, time really flew this week, but I had a blast this evening talking about like just these two topics. Holy crap. If anybody has more questions, go to bit.ly/asktalkshop and submit them there. But next week, we're going to be talking about mastering and learning from stories and what they tell us. Don't you guys like that transition there? That whole real page turner, isn't it?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I liked your curtain one from earlier. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. We'll use more curtains and pages next week. But next week, Olivia, Colton, myself, we're gonna work on gathering some interesting stories and sharing it, and figuring out what they teach, and also if we could give Colton, I think it'd be cool if we could give some tips on telling stories as well. I think it's a skill that really can take us far in the business and outside of the business.
100%. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Guys, we'll see you guys next time. This was awesome. TalkShop Broadcast. Signing out.
Sir.
It's been fun, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us, Puna.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome back here next time. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
Thanks for sitting in for Olivia. All right, Olivia, wherever you are, hope you're safe in traffic. And we missed you this week, but looking forward to hang out with you next week. Colton, always a pleasure. And yeah, thank you to all our listeners.
Yeah.
We will see you.
And congrats, Colton, on the baby.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. Our task of the week, I forgot. Let's give out 5 sets of just 5 sets of trim tee. Go on. I think what's that? It used to be Meet On, but there should be some stuff on YouTube that talks about franchise marketing. With trim tee specifically, you want to print out that well-trimmed document that we showed you early on, and fold that up. Give this out. Give out 5 this week, and then let's see how it goes next week. So that's the task for the week. Thanks again, everybody, for taking the time. Colton, Puna, was a pleasure. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.